Hi there, I'm Andrew. Welcome to Urban Rider for another look at some of the world's finest riding gear. Today we're going to be showing you the Knox Orsa gloves. We have two gloves here to show you. We have the Knox Orsa Leather and the Knox Orsa OR3, which is essentially the textile variant of the glove. They're both fantastic and they're designed as a sort of aggressively styled but hyper-protective spring summer riding glove. Knox are a brand whose background is in the armoured world, and they've infused all of their wonderfully styled gear with really fantastic protection systems. And the Orsa glove benefits from technology borrowed essentially from the range-topping Handroid glove, which is something bred for racing and has sort of percolated through into the urban riding sector more recently, but features some unbelievably clever and incredibly protective systems patented by Knox. And that comes in at £219. The reason I reference that is that here we have the leather glove at £89 and the Orsa Textile OR3 at £79, and they feature a number of the systems you can find in the Handroid glove. So I think they represent really cracking value for people who admittedly want a glove with a slightly more aggressive style to it over some of the classic, more sort of traditional urban riding summer gloves that we offer, and really want top levels of protection and safety. So to that note, the Orsa Leather is going to be the one to go for in terms of outright abrasion resistance. Traditionally, the OR3, the textile one, has had more of an off-road inspired design to it. So £89 and £79 respectively, I think that's very good. You have a goatskin leather throughout the glove, and that's very high quality leather. It's very slide and abrasion resistance despite being lightweight and supple. These gloves are really well put together, and one key thing to mention is the sizing is straightforward. It's no fuss at all, so check the size guide. We've checked the size guide here in the office with a number of different sized hands, and it basically is just 100% accurate. I have an 8-inch circumference to my palm, and the medium fits me right just as per the size guide, so really straightforward there. So apart from the leather that makes the glove what it is, we have some really clever systems. The headline features are the knuckle system, which is fantastic. It features a very comfortable gel back. It's a floating knuckle, which means essentially it sits in a separate piece of leather to the back of the palm, meaning that it can float without causing any restriction to dexterity or movement when you're gripping on the bike. And we have this Boa System, which is a very clever clasp system which replaces velcro straps and does it in a way that incorporates a very secure and sure fit, but also armor plating around the wrist, which is fantastic to have. And thirdly, the other major feature is the Knox SPS Scaphoid Protection System, another patented piece of technology to Knox. And this is really clever. A number of brands incorporate a scaphoid protection system, but we don't see it too much in the urban riding part of the market, but it's definitely a wonderful thing to have. The theory being, if you have an accident, the most likely thing you'll do is put your hands out, and if you're on tarmac, as most urban riders will be, the problem with having a leather palm is it's grippy, and although it provides a degree of abrasion resistance, if you are to hit the ground with it, it's likely to stop you in your tracks, which causes you to go in essentially with even more velocity into the ground, and that can cause real damage to the scaphoid area on the underside of your wrist, and it's a very delicate part of the hand. There's two elements to this that make it work so well. One is the fact that it's gel-backed on the inside with this hard armor plating on the outer, so that absorbs the shock of the initial impact far better. But also it's a plastic, so it's simply going to slide along. So you're not going to get that friction causing the damage. You're going to slide along and it prevents that very substantially. So a lovely system to have. Despite the fact it looks incredibly prominent here on the underside of the wrist, you would think it would therefore slightly impede feel on the grip. We've tried these out and it doesn't at all. You really do not notice it, but the fact that you have it is an absolute win. It's a really effective system if you ever need to use it. So the Boa system itself features aircraft grade stainless steel for the actual strings that form it together, and that's coated with a nylon. This is another wonderful piece of technology. It's really simple to operate. Essentially you have a ratchet system and you can simply pull that out and it releases itself coming open, so you can get this on and off very easily. The benefit of this system, as you can see on the underside, is that it has a curved armoured plate, and that allows you to have lower wrist protection as well. So despite being essentially a shortcut spring summer riding glove, you have scaphoid knuckle and you even have lower wrist protection too. So this is a fantastic complement of armour, and you've got extra layers of this abrasion resistant goatskin leather as well on the palm. You also have a little touchscreen element on the fingertip too, so you can use this with a smartphone or a sat nav on the go with no hassle. So a wonderful glove, and I think a very fair price for something that's so expertly engineered. Moving across to the Orsa OR3, well, it's much the same. The essential differences really being the fact that instead of the leather, you have this textile fabric to it, and that makes it feel a little bit more lightweight and softer. If I was doing any kind of enduro riding, so going to somewhere like Spain, maybe doing a bit of on and off-road, I'd be very tempted by this because it's so much more comfortable by virtue of essentially not being the leather. Another thing that Knox do with both of the gloves is that they have a seamless fingertip system, which essentially means that rather than having the seam at the end of the fingers, which really does impede comfort, and it's something that it just exists as a kind of fact on most gloves, they've done away with that, and it basically means that you get a lot more comfort and your fingers go right to the end and it feels just perfect in terms of the fit. So this one being a little bit more lightweight, both of the gloves have a large degree of breathability as well, with perforations on both the underside and on the back as well, so make no bones about it, this is not going to be a glove for bad weather riding, but it just works wonderfully. You can see here on the OR3, I still have my watch on, which is maybe not a great idea if you were doing enduro riding, but I do, and it doesn't get in the way of the Boa System because it's that short cut. But interestingly, if I have it on the leather, on the version of the glove, it slightly covers that. There's a slightly more substantial piece here extending just below the back of the palm, so it's just a marginally longer glove. Both of these in stock and available right now at Urban Rider, and we'd love to know what you guys think. This is new to our lineup, and as somebody who rides a Ducati desert sled that has that slightly more aggressive styling, it's less refined than some of the more sort of classic bikes out there, I really love this. And as I say, please do let us know your thoughts and feedback. Stay tuned for more video reviews of the world's finest riding gear. There's so much more stuff coming out thick and fast in the coming days, so hopefully we'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.